This is the map Armavir, and if you've been watching any kind of competitive Rome 2 lately, you will know that this map gets a lot of play, and there are mainly two reasons for that. The player that starts in the attacker direction is going to be able to fight downhill the entire way down to the defender. The normal or most used infantry counters, so your skirmishers, shock cavalry, elephant chariots, are going to be far less effective in this forest, so it's possible to move all the way down and engage the enemy through forests for most of the map. The only open fields are here, but they are surrounded by forests, so this is potentially a good map for ambushing, and I've seen some great ambushes here. Pokepax did it against Armenian King in putting his entire army over here while Armenian King moved down the center. Didn't end up working for him, but it was cool to see. So this is a map where barbarians excel. One thing you do have to be a bit careful about is getting charges in the forest. Barbarian infantry is going to be far less effective when it's charging in the forest. Cavalry is going to have reduced speed and reduced charge impact. So if you're playing against a barbarian player, it's going to be a good idea to take the engagements in this forest, and definitely not in the open terrain here. As the barbarian player, you will want to get your charges out in the open, but it sort of depends, because you want to be careful about getting charged by cavalry and elephants chariots. But the elephants chariots, cavalry, it's going to be charging uphill anyway, so it's going to be less effective in breaking through your men. This is a great map for barbarian power factions like the Boii, Tylis. It's also good enough for Rome. It's good for any barbarian faction that can bring a lot of good mid-tier swords and good cavalry to be charging downhill here. And for a faction like Tylis, it also sort of negates the weakness that they have in terms of not being able to bring cheap, cost-effective heavy cavalry to knock down enemy formations. One thing you do have to be aware of is that it can be easy for an opponent to outmaneuver you so that he gets his cavalry up behind you and is then able to rear charge down. If you change the attacker directions on this map, the map is unplayable. Just straight up unplayable. And this is one of the problems with this map, is that if you choose the standard attacker-defender roles and you're the attacker, you're going to be starting up here and you're going to be fighting downhill, which is great. If you change the attacker direction, you're going to be fighting from hill to hill, and it is arguably better, just not with attacker-defender roles. If there are attacker-attacker roles, then it sort of works, then you can meet in the middle here and it's kind of cool. But with attacker-attacker roles and the attacker starting up here and the defender starting down here, the defender is at a severe disadvantage. This map is neutral in terms of the starting climate. It's just neutral. It won't penalize any factions more than others. It's a nice map, but it's not fun being at the bottom of the slope and having to fight uphill against the army that is stationed up here. So if you're able to pick this map and you're able to be the attacker and you pick a barbarian faction, then you already have a massive advantage on this map. Strength and honor.